Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Liz, and welcome back to Sky Factory 3. In the last episode, we had a visitor. We had a skeleton trap spawn on us. We were also working on more chicken stuff. We were planning out some block stuff. We started making the stuff we needed for a lightning rod. Which was going to require a bunch of nether stars, and we made a new sword. We did a bunch of just odds and ends, not really any direction to go. So between episodes, I have killed a bunch of withers. I have currently 8 nether stars. Been working with chickens for a while. Hello there. And avert your eyes if you don't like this part, but we gotta take the new baby and replace the old one, because that's a 111. And the new baby one is a 999. So I've had some luck. Everything in the center so far is a 10-10-10, and it's just a matter of waiting around for the eggs. The edges are either like 111s or close to 10-10-10s. So it's just a waiting game at this point. Been working on this a little bit, but you should be hatching soonish. But one thing real quick, so we need to figure out lighting for this area, and I want to keep this kind of open, and I want the lighting to be really nice and orderly. So something we can do, I have all of these like cross beams. These are evenly spaced and it looks really nice, I must say. I've been trying to figure out like how I want everything to look, but made these yellow iron lanterns from Relicua? I can't pronounce that at all. From this mod, and I think they look really nice. They give off good amounts of light. They're also pretty cheap. They're just stained glass, a torch, and some iron. So relatively cheap, and I think that's what we're going to use around here. Still need to make another quantum storage unit for feathers, but we'll get to that later. That's not that big of a deal. So yeah, just working on that. And then we talked about last time how we want to make this guy look, the seed factory, and I've decided on these blocks. So we have brown stained bricks, dried bricks, and silver sheet metal. So dried bricks are made, let's see, the silver sheet metal is actually really easy. It just requires some plates. We might want to make a metal press for that, depending on how much we want to use, but I think that'll look good as like a roof. And kind of my idea for this factory thing is like Victorian age factory, so lots of bricks. The brown stained bricks and the dried bricks, let's pull both of those up so I can show off how you make those. But the brown stained ones are pretty easy, if I can find them. Brown stained bricks are just some sort of brown dye with bricks. Bricks, of course, just being clay. And then the dried bricks are dried brick, which is clay on these drying racks over here. So, and drying racks are just wood. So we can make a bunch of those if we need to. We can automate that. Shouldn't be that much of a problem, but I think that combination of colors looks really nice. And so this is going to be a big brick building. We'll have some like decorations, probably have some dirty windows, that kind of stuff. It's, you know, chimneys, that kind of Victorian age style stuff. I think it'll look really cool. So we can work on that at some point so that we can start building up and making a second floor for all of the seed reprocessors, because once we have this guy going at full capacity, we're not going to be able to keep up with just 4 of those seed reprocessors, so we're going to need a lot more. And speaking of progress, Ardite chicken, that was a 999, that's a 111. We'll just put those in there. And any 10s? No. So I have it set up basically so that whenever we get a 10-10-10, we'll be able to see it pretty quickly. So that's the idea. Alright, so what are we going to do today? Well, today I want to automate the wither, or at least start getting into that. It's going to take some time before we can fully automate it. but we can at least begin automating it. And I'm going to put the building blocks up here. I like putting them on the actual ground just so I can see them and remember that they're there. And then we can put the rest of them in here, I guess. So we need to work with Draconic Evolution if we want to automate the Wither, which we're going to want to do relatively soon regardless, but we need to do a lot of work. So the big reason we want to do that, we want to get the mob grinder. The mob grinder is going to require a Wyvern core and some Awakened Draconium, which is not nearly as bad as you might think other than power. It takes 350 million RF, so that's pretty nasty. How much storage do we have? We have 75 million, so let's buff up our storage real quick. Can we make like 10 vibrant capacitors? Sure we can. That'll take a little bit of time, but that shouldn't be too bad. Big reason though that's going to be really nice is because we're getting vibrant alloy from chickens, so it's not going to have to do all that much work. We also can pop this guy out, and storage cells, we can make some more storage if we ever need to. Currently we're pretty good on that. We might want to make some more fluid storage at some point, but for the time being it's not that much of an issue. So each of these is 25 million, so we'll just need a bunch of these. Let's take the flux plug off from this side and put it here. And then we can start building this up a little bit more. So we're about a third of the way there. And we want to make sure that this is as close to that threshold as it can possibly be. We're going to need more and more vibrant capacitor banks. So we'll get into that soon enough. Before we can really get into Awakened Draconium though, we need to power up our crafting, our fusion crafting. So just to kind of note as well, Dimension Builder requires Awakened Draconium too. So we only need to make one set of Awakened Draconium right now, but it's going to do a lot for us. Alright, so for the fusion crafting, we're going to need Draconium blocks, Wyvern cores, and Draconic cores. Now, we need to teach the system how to make Draconic cores. That is very much on the order. So, Draconic cores, and let's go ahead and teach it Wyvern cores as well. Find, there we go. And we can start making all this stuff. So in order to make the Awakened Draconium, we need Wyvern Tier Fusion Crafting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to power up 7 of these basic fusion craftings, which each one requires 8 things. So we're going to need diamonds. We're going to need lots of diamonds. So 7 times 4 is 28. We're also going to need 2 Draconic cores each. So we're going to need 14 Draconic cores. That'll be pretty quick and easy to make. We're going to need a lot of Draconium. We're going to need 7 blocks of Draconium. And then we're going to need 7 Wyvern cores. In order to do that, we're missing 25 Draconium. So we have a little bit of Draconium ore, which we actually want to keep for right now. So I think what we need to do is not touch that for one. We need to grab this seed. And let it start growing for a bit. So let's go ahead and sleep. And I'm going to get rid of the magnet because I don't think we need the magnet right now. So eventually we will be automating the wither completely. Right now that's a little bit of an ask to do. Just because of some of the things we'll need to make and kind of work with. But eventually we'll be able to do it. And it'll be nice and easy and it'll be great. And everything will be wonderful. So we just need the Draconium for the Wyvern cores. We have everything else, and then each of these requires pretty much 250,000 RF. So vibrant capacitors, we have 4 more of these. What is it waiting on? It's making energetic alloy. What if I gave it a bunch? We probably have a good bit in here. We have 27. How about up here? Ooh, that's close. Terra steel. We have a little bit more. Alright, so this is all not that bad to do. Let's go ahead and put that stuff in there. Let's get some more power going. And we're up to 275 million RF, which is not too bad. Definitely could be more, definitely could be less. It could be worse. And it's done making the vibrant capacitors. Perfect. Just making 2 more. Let's make 5 more of those, if we can. And the reason why is we can make it a perfect, like, shape. So we'll get those going. How are we doing for Draconium already? We don't need the seeds, so we can go ahead and put the seeds and everything away in here. Seed reprocessors are still going to get clogged up occasionally, but that's okay because we'll fix that later. Once we get the second floor on that, that's something we can do. So Draconium. The reason we don't want to use the how many do we need for the cores? Can we make the 7? We're missing 31. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just make 3. No. 1. Okay, so we can make 1 each time. Alright, so we're gonna need a lot more Draconium. That's kind of becoming clear. So the reason we don't want to use the ore is because we're gonna need the ore to make a Draconium world if we so choose. Now we'll get more ore eventually, I'm sure. But for right now, it's a little bit better. So we need 28 of these, right? Because that's 4 times 7. So we need 31 more ingots for that. And we can always get, see, there's 12 seeds and 12 essence. Like, a lot of this stuff is pretty much just kind of wait and see, and we'll get it. So do we have the vibrant capacitors yet? We have 2 of them. And we're going to be getting a lot of stuff, a lot of resources, both from the farm and from the essence, which I don't think, like, okay, something I've considered is why don't we just have the essence all go into being converted, which for most of the things would probably be fine. So for example, uranium essence only becomes uranium, aluminum brass is only aluminum brass. But sheep essence can become wool or mutton. So we might want to keep that as is. So a lot of the metals, it might be good to go ahead and convert those. Mystical flowers, though, not so much. Iron, since the quartz enriched can also be made from quartz enriched iron essence, that should be fine. But like quartz essence, we might want granite, diorite, andesite, nether quartz. You know, there's multiple things. So what we'll probably end up doing is having a crafter and then like an importer. I think that might be the best way to handle that situation. So it is still making, it's making electrical steel. Do we have any of that? We should have a good bit of that in here, right? Electrical steel. Yeah, so while we're waiting, let's go ahead and make the other quantum unit, storage unit that we'll want for the feathers for our chicken farm. So quantum, because I don't think we have another one. No. So quantum storage unit. We're going to need obsidian chests. Alright, so we're going to need... What kind of chests do we have currently? We have the basic kind. Alright, so we need 4 obsidian chests. 1, 2, 3, 4. So gold chest, 1, 2, 3, 4. Diamond chest, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then obsidian chest. And then I think the only thing we need is the machine chassis, which we can auto craft. And there is a quantum storage unit. Now this one is going to have feathers. And it's going to be placed right here. So let's grab, do I have any feathers down here? I think I do. Just throw them all on the ground, I guess. And we'll just start storing feathers in here. So eventually these guys will probably, the feathers might actually have a storage bus. I don't know. I don't know if we'll go ahead and do that. We might not. Nothing good yet. Okay, so how are we doing for this? Not too shabby. Make sure that nothing is backed up. Let's actually take half of those and put them in there just so it's a little bit quicker. And do we have enough stuff? Draconium. So there's 18 more. Can we make 3 wyvern cores? No. 2 wyvern cores. Sure. So they're not that like bad to craft, but it is going to take some time. Now, do we have the vibrant capacitor banks? We do. We have enough for another level. So that's what I wanted. And F7, make sure this is well lit. So this can hold 450 million RF. No, that's, yeah, 450 million RF. It transfers 450,000. So that is enough, correct? Yes, more than enough. So if we fill this up, we'll have the Awakened Draconium. But before then, we have to make Wyvern tier stuff. So let's get started. So this, we're going to put the injector here. 2 of these. And 4 of these. So we can do something like this. And start. And so this is fusion crafting. It's actually really cool looking. This is going to be really slow because we don't have good power transfer. But it's going to be fast enough for these guys. It's just going to take forever for the Awakened Draconium. So you can put stacks of items on the crafting things, which is what we did. And the reason we did that is just because it's going to be easier in the long run. to have everything down here. So all we need to have is our we just take this. All we need to have is like our wyvern cores. Let's put the food back. So that goes there. And as you can see, they're slightly different. And we go ahead and start on the second one. So we just need to get more wyvern cores, and every time we upgrade one, we'll replace something else, and it'll be fine. So we get to do this 7 times. And there's 8 total here. We can always go back and upgrade the last ones when we need to, but for right now, power is kind of an issue. Now there is another way to get power. Transfer these basic energy crystals. These require energy cores. They're not bad. And this is automatable. We can like we can take we can use like conduits and stuff to make this go. So we just need more wyvern cores. So we have 3. We've got 2, so we need 5 more, right? Yes. And that'll be pretty much it. So we're gonna need more power, almost guarantee that, and we're definitely gonna want plenty of. We're gonna need to get more power just in general. So we might want to look at making, let's see, is this tier 3? This is tier 3. So tier 4 is going to require a lot of nether stars. So we probably won't want that. We still need the nether star generator. That's going to take a little bit of time to get. Alright, so Draconium. Can we make another 2 cores? 5 cores. We need 35 more. So can we make 3 cores? 2 cores. Missing 5. Alright. I think I'm reading that wrong, aren't I? So cores. If we want 5 of these, we are missing 63. We have 37. Alright. I was putting those backwards. So this is just going to be kind of a little bit of a wait and we'll get there type of thing. It is going to take a little bit of time to finish this up. So in the meantime, I will finish upgrading all of these guys between episodes. So what do we want to do? We need to get more power and more power transfer and all that fun stuff. But we also need to start thinking about automating the wither. So this is where all of our farms are going to be. And we'll eventually move our portal blocks over here as well. The wither should probably be... Do we want it up or down? I think lower would be good. To spawn the wither in, we're going to want a couple of things. We're going to want draconium infused obsidian, which is the standard recipe, so that's not that hard to do. We're going to want dislocator. We're going to want a dislocator in general, and then a dislocator receptacle, which is pretty straightforward. And that's going to allow us to make portals. And then the last thing we're going to want is we're going to need some way to automatically make the wither. Block placers are going to probably be our best bet. So we have a phantom placer. Now what? Phantom breakers and placers work similarly to normal phantom phases, except that they are used to... Okay, hold up. They're used to break and place blocks from a distance. Their default range is 3 blocks. connect them to blocks to break. Okay, so these might actually be the easiest way to do it. So we don't have to make a portal. We can just use phantom breakers and placers. When the let's see. When just connecting them to airspaces, to just place a block, store it, and then break it again. Right-clicking the change between modes. Okay. So this might be easier. We're going to want these phantom placers. We'll see what they're going to need. So we're going to want some phantom. There's a phantom connector. We're going to want this thing as well. So we're going to need some Eyes of Ender. And this is what you use to connect things. And I've never done this before, but I'm familiar with the idea. So phantom boosters, don't care. Should be noted that phantom faces is not supposed to be used as a wireless transport system. Should be used when wanting to put items in a machine that don't have enough space. All that kind of stuff. It's not a short range tesseract. Shouldn't treat it as such. So we'll see how it works. We'll see how it connects and all that kind of stuff. But we need to make phantom placers. So we're going to need, for the wither, there's 3, 6, 7 placers that we're going to need. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's the placers. And then if we want the phantom placers, we're going to need a bunch of phantom faces. So blocks of ender pearls, we're going to need 7 of these. We're going to need advanced coils times 7. Which is pretty easy. Can we make like 2 stacks of those? Alright. So there's that. We're also going to need trap chest or chest times 7. So that's easy enough. And I'm putting everything in my inventory just because, why not? And the last thing we need is the empowered diamantine. So this is going to be a little bit more tricky. It's going to require clay and light blue dye and diamantine crystals. Now the question is, can I make these? Yes, I can make them in block form. So we're going to need some clay. How many are we going to need? We're going to need 14, so that's 2 sets. We're going to need diamond blocks. Wow, diamonds are expensive. We're going to need 2 diamond blocks and light blue dye. So pretty straightforward. Then we're going to need our empower and display stands. Where's going to be the easiest place? Where do we have access to some power lines? I guess right here. So display stand 1, 2. Let's, I guess let's put it over here for right now. So let's put the empower down right here. 1, 2. Oh wait, no, that was fine where it was. Empower. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, now we're going to need some energy conduits connecting all of these. Let's just connect these 2 as well. And then we'll just grab a flux plug or point. And then that'll be easy enough. That'll be quick enough, and that'll work just fine. So we're what we need to do is put diamantine, not diamond. So we got to laser those first. Put that in the center. Clay on 2 of these. A block of clay. And then the light blue dye as soon as we have the flux point. And can get energy. Alright, so these should all fill up with energy. And that's that. So how much? Wow, we have a lot of draconium stuff. Alright, so let's do something like this. Wait for it to disappear. And put it back in. So that we can potentially get a little bit more. Alright, kill the zombie pigman, why not? So there is the first block of empowered diamantine. And then we can do same thing. And get, whoops, the second block. Eventually we'll set up the empower just in case we need it. We could probably automate it as well. That would not be an issue. Other than the clay is a little bit of an issue, but we could deal with that. It's a little annoying, but it's not something that's impossible to automate. So once this is done, what we're going to do is we're going to deconstruct all this. And I'll clean this up later. Let's see. Let's right click, get the empowered diamonds, and we're gonna take this guy because I'd like to test to see if this phantom face thing will work. So something like this, ender, and 7 of those. Now phantom faces on their own are really cool, but we're gonna make phantom placers and we'll put those away. So here is the thought. For right now, let's see if we can, let's see, 3 blocks away. So let's put them as far away as we can. So 1, 2. Now would it be here? Isn't connected to anything. So we right click. Connection was cleared. Left click. I don't know how this works. So let's uses. How do I get this thing to work? So simulate, yep. Phantom faces are connected by right-clicking inventory and then right-clicking. Okay. So let's just see if we can place a block here. Block stored to this connector. Block connected. Alright, so if we break this, is there any issues? Okay, so it's not in range. Something unrecognizable is at unrecognizable. The connected block is something unrecognizable at, that's 4 blocks of range. Okay, so we need to make them here. So connection was cleared. Store that. And so the idea is it just placed it one above. Oh boy. So if that's what it's gonna do, that's fine. Let's just switch those and see if that works. Oh wait, up, down, north, south, east. Because the phantom. Okay, so we'll just do north. It doesn't really matter. So let's get this back to where it needs to be. Shift right click. So put it on the north side. So that must be north. That is. Down. So, okay. It will be a little bit more tricky to kind of figure out how to put these things where they need to go, but we can manage that. Now these don't require any power, so let's just put these guys in the shape that we're gonna want. Actually, no, let's test one thing before we do that. So we're gonna put this guy here. We're gonna put him on the up, and we're gonna give him a. We're gonna do two things. We're gonna first grab a redstone torch to see what the options are, and then we're also going to grab the wither stuff. So 1, 2, 3, and soul sand. Because ultimately that's what we're gonna want from this guy is to basically be pulse deactivation. So pulse is what we'll want, but basically what we'll want from this guy is to be the thing that summons in the withers, and we want to make sure that they actually don't get destroyed. Just do that. Can you place it? I didn't mean to shift right click that. Alright, let's grab a placeholder. Dang it. Alright, so are you connected? So if we put you, we could do it this way. We could put it there with a proof glass, and we could put it on the west. So will you place it? You will. Now the more important question is, will you survive the blast? If it doesn't, then we need to make phantom boosters. If it does, it seems to. So that might be good enough. Let's just clear out this wither. That might be all we need to do in order to summon the wither into a small cage so that we can kill it. We can put it on pulse mode. We can basically have, this is a solid, this is solid, so what we can do is we can have it where it is doing the direction off of the witherproof glass, and then yeah, we can go from there. So that works just fine. That is how we're going to deal with summoning in the wither and killing it automatically with the mob grinder. So I am going to spend some time. We need to get all the Wyvern Fusion Crafting injectors, all the Wyvern Tier stuff. So I'm going to work on getting that, and I'm going to continue working on chickens, which, do we have any more 10-10-10s? No. Bunch of lapis. No. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to continue working on these guys. I'm going to continue waiting. Build a little bit, probably. I'll probably work on this guy a little bit. At least planning, like the ladder or the staircase that goes up. And then, yeah, next time we will get our first little bit of Awakened Draconium and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!